What's going on, guys? Shane here. And today we're talking about how to get full extension in your straight punches without hyperextending the elbow. We just released our 18-step footwork program on fighttips.com, and we had a ton of people send in videos of themselves following along, but I noticed that a lot of people were pulling their punches, meaning when they threw the punch, they kept a slight bend in their arm and never got full extension. You gotta be able to use that range. So today's drill, all we need is a string or a shoelace to be able to properly practice how to throw these straight punches. Let's take a look. Alright, so I know a lot of you guys are going crazy at home, locked down in quarantine because you don't have anything to hit. Well, although it's not an alternative to a heavy bag, we all have a string or a shoelace lying around at home. If you tie or tape it to the ceiling and let it rest all the way down just below chin level when you're in your fight stance with knees slightly bent, now you have a target. Now you have something to punch at to work your timing, your accuracy, your range, and also head movement and angles when it comes swinging back at you. Let me tell you a quick story on how I got the idea for the old string on the ceiling trick. So my wife and I, Marie, went back to Philadelphia over Christmas, and while we were there at a Wawa, for those of you who know what a Wawa is, we ran into someone that we went to grade school with, and I didn't even recognize him because he had lost so much weight. And I was like, dude, you look incredible. He's like, thanks. In fact, I've seen you more recently than you've seen me. I was like, oh yeah? And he's like, yeah, I've been watching your videos, and I lost all this weight through shadowboxing. I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, man. All I do is just tie a string to the ceiling. Now I got something to punch at. I was like, dude, I'm sharing that. That's awesome. So shout out to you, Corey. Thank you for the tip, and keep up the great work, man. So what I'm going to have you guys do is just that. Tie it to your ceiling and have it rest just below chin level, and now you got something to work with. But like I said, the focus today is going to be on how can we get full extension with our punches without hyperextending our arm. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down a punch into 3 different movements. So we have the push or the extension, which is when it gets closer towards the target. Then we have the stick, which is when it lands. And then we have the retraction or the pull when it comes back. If we pull the punch too early, meaning pull it back, that's when we get this motion, the pull punch, right? When someone says they're pulling their punches. It means that they're pulling the energy back before they get full extension, like this, okay? And then the opposite is extending it too long or too far, and that's usually how we get that elbow pain, right? So sending it too far. However, notice I use the word send. Send is correct. I don't want you to bend. Some people will chop when they throw their punches. And you can just see this motion right here. The elbow joint doesn't bend that way. But if I'm throwing my punches like this, that chopping motion, the energy continues to go that way. And that's how you get the stress on the elbow joint. So I need you to send it, don't bend it. Think about it like this. There's a pipe at the end of the target, and then the pipe comes all the way down to my fist, right? They say punch down the pipe. What does that mean? It means when I throw my punch, I don't want to hit any edges of the pipe on the extension or the push and the retraction, the pull, okay? If I chop or bend it, I'm going to hit the edge of the pipe. So send it, don't bend it, okay? That's usually the number one problem that causes that elbow joint pain, is when people throw punches like that and they chop into it or bend it. Send it, don't bend it, okay? The other thing we're going to do now is line the string up, let it hang steady, and then we're just going to get full extension of our straight punch. So we'll do the cross first. Now I want full rotation in the hips and shoulders and full extension of the punch, and right at the end of my fist, the string should rest right there. So it shouldn't be bent. I shouldn't be back here. It should be the straight string like that. Okay? So I know I have to get full extension in order to hit that. I'm going to rotate my hips and shoulders and get full extension. Then I let the string steady out, and then I do it again. Bang. And I do it again. Bang. I want you to do that 50 times. All right? I want you to do that every single day. Just working on making sure that you get full extension. Full extension, there's the stick and the full retraction. All right? But when you do this, I don't want you to lean. Don't lean into it. Try to keep your head evenly over your hips. So this is going to force you to rotate more and get full extension with your punch. And then you would do the same thing with the jab, right? Full extension. My knuckles rest on the end of the string. I know I have to get that far in order to hit it. But I want to do it without leaning and without bending or chopping my arm. So send it down the pipe. Bang. And again, steady it and bang. Steady it and bang. Okay? So, a couple of drills that you guys can do there, or you can just freestyle on it. But again, the focus today was on how can we get that full extension with the arm. I've always done it this way. I've always been good at getting full extension. You want to be able to use your range, of course, but I've never ever had elbow pain, and I think it's just because of proper technique. So you may want to film yourself and make sure that you aren't doing that chopping motion when you do your punch. Make sure you send it and don't bend it. Alright guys, there you have it. Now I know a lot of you don't have access to a heavy bag, but most of us do have access to a shoelace or two, right? Grab one, tie it up to the ceiling, and now you got a target to hit. Now if you do have elbow pain, like I said, usually you just got to fix your technique. But if you still have some agitation there, then what I need you to do is rest that area, ice it, and then you can also build up strength around it by doing some bicep curls and tricep extensions. You want to build up the muscles around the joint so that it stays stable when you throw your punches. Until next time, be sure to check out the 18-step footwork shadowboxing program on FightTips.com alongside our hybrid striking course and Vince the Anomaly's MMA IQ roadmap. Great stuff. You guys are going to absolutely love it. Click the link in the description below. You get 14 days free. If you don't love it, cancel on the 13th day and you won't get charged anything at all. Until next time, I'm Shane with Fight Tips for the Underdogs.